Brewing Network.
Today, on the road to GABF, I am back in the desert! Yeah, back to my roots. I'm on my way to Phoenix, Arizona to hang out with my friends at Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company and drink some beer. Let's do this. I'm here in Gilbert, Arizona at Arizona Wilderness Brewing Company, and I'm with Pat Ware and John Buford, the founders of Arizona Wilderness. Thanks for having me in your...
We found this place.
You found this place. Yeah. I found it. So I've known you for years, John. It's the first time I've been here.
Yeah, we've been acquaintances and friends for a long time.
Yeah.
But now I think we're friends.
Now we might actually finally be friends. Well, I've had your beer now, and I like it, and so we're allowed to be friends.
We brewed it English mild because we knew you were coming.
I appreciate that, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, so I have known you outside of the brewery for some time, and I'm surprised by my visit. And I hope this comes off as more of a compliment than anything, but you guys are doing things here that are a little more in depth, a little more meaningful to you and the planet than I think I realized. And that's me just being sort of shallow and knowing that, you and I can go out and have a good time and get drunk and do whatever we do. But there's a lot more to Arizona Wilderness than that story.
Hey, look, man, I appreciate that because that's the paradigm that we've created for ourselves.
Sure.
It's like you do have to enter through like the Willy Wonka world to get to us. And we want to break that away a little bit and say, no, craft breweries can be this. And we don't have to be massive empires. We can be a really authentic brewer, and you can trust what we have to say. And I think right when we started saying local, the rest of the world kind of abused it. Right when we started saying sustainable, the rest of the world kind of used sustainable in a way that might not be sustainable.
Sure.
So we're trying to really, 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 we think bring you in.
It's the only way to do that. Redefine some of those terms.
Yeah.
Because sustainable, greenwashing type of things.
Right.
Generally, when you're small and you're in contact with a farmer, that's not the same as the corporate billboard that says sustainable.
It says that.
Right.
Okay, so this is the stuff I want to dive into, but I kind of want to start at the beginning. And I actually think that the beginning even starts with your name, Arizona Wilderness, right?
Investors loved it.
And I'm pretty sure that in the past, I even made fun of your name.
This is a true story.
Okay.
You were not pretty sure. No, this happened.
Okay.
So Joe Tucker, a dear friend of both of ours, but Joe, the big sensei,
yes,
ran Rate Beer for a long time. But at that point, Rate Beer was kind of taking a turn, and they were including award ceremonies and awards, and we were named the best new brewery in the world, which whole different story. 2014, and we'd just been open, and so he texted me and said, "Hey, you're going to want to tune into the Brewing Network tonight." And I clearly
we were announcing the winners.
You were doing
there,
the
right?
announcements.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and you did the countdown, and you got to number one, and you said something to the term of, "What the fuck, Arizona Wilderness? There's no fucking wilderness in Arizona." And I knew that you were being clever. You were being a little coy about things. You're kind of, and so I beat you up on Twitter for making, I probably went at you for like the stern, stern wannabe guy over here.
Shock bullshit in the beer world. Well, I'm glad you called me out, and I really do think, though, that the name Arizona Wilderness is such a perfect start for your concept. You guys like to be outdoors. You care about what your business does to the planet. And so you've embraced this sort of farm-to-table method of doing business for what you do.
Yeah, it's part of the ethos.
Okay.
Right? And so when you logically break that down, you say, okay, well, what's better for the local surrounding area? Get it down the road or order it from a million miles away.
Sure.
Right.
So you buy your grain locally here in Arizona.
100%.
Which is another part I'm naive about. I would have thought, wow, it's a tough place to be if you want to shop local.
That doesn't happen without a farmer growing the barley, right? That's obvious. That's an obvious one, but it's not. The farmer was making money growing other things. Why would I grow barley, right?
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen without someone getting a malt house. Why would there be a malt house? We've never had a malt house in the history of Arizona. And so they needed a brewer. And so the Nature Conservancy steps up and says, hey, we think we can get a malt house based on your needs. And we think we have the farmer to grow. And the reason we can get involved as in the niche conservancy is because we believe we can actually save water. Those farmers won't grow cotton, alfalfa, and corn. They'll be growing a much less water intensive crop, barley. And it's a cool fucking story. It's beer, right? I mean, everyone was involved in it. Who is involved in it was really excited about beer in the end. And so we now use Sinagua malt. The Sinagua people were here, especially in that area.
Okay.
Living, without water, obviously, Sinagua. And learning to adapt with the river, right? And not making the river adapt to you.
Yeah.
So that's part of that farm to glass story. It's not just a hashtag.
By making those decisions, you've made the difficult decision to make your product more expensive to your consumer as well.
Yeah.
Like you really had to go all in on that because it wasn't just like, hey, cool, now we get local malt, let's get back to work.
What's funny about it is our COO kind of tells John and I, well, you run like a B Corp, but you're not.
Yeah.
And because he's basically pointing like, you've made this company less profitable.
Sure.
Because if we were to take those numbers and build them into what it would flow through to the consumer, it would be $10 pints.
Right.
But we said, you know what? This is an alternative way for us to advertise and do what we do with a higher purpose.
Yeah.
We need to have high-functioning restaurants that sell beer by the pint.
Yeah.
It's probably not viable to do what we do from a production brewery standpoint.
I see. It's
Right.
got to be a bit smaller. It's got to have food. And I assume that your food you're trying to be as local as possible with that as well.
Yeah.
That's the second big initiative. So the Sinagua Malt one is the biggest one.
Okay,
That's the
sure.
biggest initiative that we've taken on. And the second one is grass-raised beef.
We're not heroes. This is far from being done. This story is still being written, but it is deep into the first segment of the book, and we are starting to understand some of those things. And that does mean we have to tell our consumer, trust us on this one. We're not rich guys by any means.
Yeah.
We're trying to make a rich community.
Part of that is health.
Thanks for that.
Sure.
The health of the soil and the health of the people.
Yeah.
Right? There's not chemicals all over this stuff, and this is an animal that's not under stress, duress, being fed things that just make it fat.
So I want you guys to be rich guys one day. I mean, I like that we're humble here and saying, we're making these decisions and we're not rich guys and we're not charging you more so that we put more money in our pocket. But I do want to point out that there are sacrifices that you are making with your own bottom line and with your own bank account. But I don't get the sense that you even feel that way. And what I'm saying is that the sacrifices that you make now, and hopefully by setting an example for other companies, will lead to these being actual profitable and normal business practices instead of you guys being the exception to the rule.
Right.
When it becomes the rule, well, then maybe everybody makes money again.
Right.
Not to mention what we've saved of the planet.
You're talking about the blueprint, and that's the goal. And we think Patagonia, the clothing company, has done that. And we, let
A
my
lot of
people go
inspiration
surfing.
for some of these initiatives.
That's how I started the brewery. And I kind of done this with Let My People Go Surfing, where you're like, that's more than just a bank account driven thing there.
Yep.
You're talking about blueprint that I can pass on to the next brewer. And I think Sam Caljoun did a great job at Dogfish Head. Vinny did a great job on the West Coast.
Yeah.
We kind of want to do that for the farm to table, farm to glass, sustainable thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm excited to go see more of it. We're going to go have some fun, have some beer. Yeah, let's go get down to it, guys.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
There's some peaches on the floor.
Don't slip. Jonathan, Pat, thank you so much for letting me get back to the desert, back to my roots out here in Phoenix and Gilbert. It was really cool to see Arizona Wilderness.
Thanks for coming by, man. It meant a lot to us too. And your vibe changed when you got to the desert. You can tell you're a rat. You're one of us.
See, people don't believe it when I say it, but I'm like really a desert rat.
You walked
100
out.
degrees, I'm comfy.
You walked out and saw the sun, and you stared right into it. And I was like, he really is from the desert.
I am.
You didn't complain.
Thank you for finally recognizing, man. People think I'm a poser all the time.
Yeah, I mean, you are a poser, but you once were cool.
But it does make me thirsty, and I'm out of
Yes,
beer. Can I have that?
So Pat,
You did? Give me that.
Pat knew that you drink a lot.
You guys, he saw it throughout the day.
Yeah.
I've even
Ration this. It's the desert, dude.
I feel like this case got larger as the hours went on. Pat's like, no, he needs another 4-pack.
It's because you're so famous. Our staff was like, is that Justin from the Brewing Network?
That's not what happened. Boys, thank you. I
Cheers.
wish you luck. And when I come back next time, I want to go do some Arizona Wilderness stuff.
Yeah.
I want to get out in the desert.
We got some plans for you. So
Okay.
to be continued.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Yeah.
See ya.
Cheers, man. Enjoy the road. He's all right.
Don't man.